Rat-a-tat-tat-ta. Ta-ra. Hello everyone, it's me, Enso Ninja here. And today, I'm going to be making a tier list of every single event skin in Bear Alpha, and ranking them based on how likely I think they are to return at some point in the future. So, let's start with the Christmas 2019 skins, just Christmas skins in general. First things first, all the Arctic Valley skins, that's all these guys. I'd say may return. I'm going to put all these guys in here. That includes Big Man Ting. Also, I might as well place these guys as well. I'm pretty sure these are all the event skins. I'm not doing kill effects and gears, because that's where it gets a bit convoluted. Just skins. And it doesn't really matter too much, so I think these skins may return because Christmas 2025 is an event that already isn't confirmed to happen. And if so, they'd probably rather bring back another Christmas event than bring back Arctic Valley for the second year in a row. I personally think it would be a good idea for them to bring back Arctic Valley, but have it so that Blizzard, Gingerbread, and Secret Santa, which I'll put at top here, are in the roster, because I find it weird how they were left out last time. Or maybe they could have these be private server exclusive. Regardless, I would really like to see these skins return, so I think they might return. Now for the Santa's Winter Stronghold skins, these for Christmas 2022, probably one of the most hated events. I'd say they've got a good chance of returning, because this is my thought process. Last year, they brought back Arctic Valley, so what if this year they bring back Santa's Winter Stronghold? Plus, they gave Frozen Santa a glorious remake, and it'd be weird to make, like, a mid-skin and then make it super cool and just not bring it back. So, I'd say they've got a good chance of returning. Now for Sugar Cookie, the Gronch, Scrounge, weird names I know, and Snowbob. These four, I don't think will be returning. I think they're unlikely to return, overall. You also notice I've got a tier called Confirms to Never Return. Not many skins are going to be in this tier, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. Alright. Now, as for some of the shop skins, like Randy, etc., I think they've got a good chance of returning if there's a Christmas event. Because if they do a Christmas event, they'll probably bring back the currency. In fact, they'll probably add more shop skins. It wouldn't take much work to bring these guys back, so I think there's a good chance they will. Alright, now onto Halloween skins. Now, for skins that already have returned, I'm just going to say what the chances are of returning in 2026, for example. So, stuff like Pumpkin, Psycho, Robot, Oh My God, Made It Bear in It Kid, Ghost Bear, and Inky. I'd say, honestly, I think they may return at some point in the future. That includes Inky. I'll put Inky a bit higher up, because Inky has returned a few times. The thing of these guys is that they returned a lot of times. They returned once in the 2020 weekly updates, once in Halloween 2020, they returned again in Halloween 2025. That's 3 times they've returned. So they could definitely return a 4th time. Cheetah Man might not want to bring them back, though, because he might think, well, people had enough chances to get these. Now, for the Halloween shop skins, like Creepypasta, Scarecrow, Werebear, Mummy, Boo, Unrefined, I think Creepypasta's got a good chance, as do stuff like Scarecrow, Werebear. Boo will definitely return if there's another Halloween event. Though Mummy, I'm gonna put lower. For some reason, they decided to only exclude Mummy from 2023 as a returner in 2025. Even though this is probably my favorite Halloween skin, I don't know why they excluded him specifically. Like, bro, you left out the best skin. Oh, wait, and Unrefined, too. Unrefined, I think's got a good chance. Because realistically, if they ever, like, revamp Hospital Nightmare, which I doubt, they could just bring this guy back whenever they wanted to. There's no Halloween requirement here, so Unrefined's got a good chance. Now, for the Halloween 2023 skins, hang on a moment. Alright, there. So, this guy, and this girl are confirmed to never return. Macabre Roses, or Grusira, whatever you want to call her, said that these skins are never coming back. Now, Macabre Roses was banned from the server, or, like, isn't a developer anymore, for some reason. But whatever she did means that this may not be accurate, but I will keep them here, because, again, it was confirmed. Now, for the Cinco de Mayo skins, for Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Sam, I'd say, honestly, I think I'll put them in the top tier of, like, no, I'll keep them down here. There is, like, a 99% chance these guys return. It is tradition. The only set of events in Bear Alpha where there has been an event for them every single year is Cinco de Mayo. Aside from 2019, where Bear Alpha released after May 5th, every year since then, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025, these guys have returned without fail, and I don't think that changes here. Now, Pin this skin's design. You could say that the neck being long is a flaw, but like, if you've seen my videos over the past month or two, you'll know that I set out on a journey to master every single bear map in a series I made called The Bear Mastery. Not now, intro. Anyways, it took me hours and hours of playing bear, but eventually I did it and got to have every single mastery skin. So I figured that now is the best time for me to rank every single one. There are about 29 of these skins in total, however, only one man will decide where these skins place, that being me, Enso Ninja. So sit back and enjoy the video, and remember that this contains opinions. If you have a problem with them, make your own list. Anyways, let's start off with D tier, because believe it or not, some of these skins are bad enough to deserve D tier.
The zombies are coming.
I thought last place was going to be difficult for me to decide, but it wasn't. Zombie King is easily the worst one. This has just got to be one of the most disappointing skins ever made. Like, normally with a mastery skin, they have something that makes them worth all the effort you put into them, whether it be having a 3D model, having something unique to them, like unique idle animations, walks, or just looking cool, but Zombie King has none of these attributes. In fact, dare I say, I actually think it offers less than regular skins. Here's the thing, this is a zombie skin, and normally a zombie skin has walking animations and voice lines, so you'd think that the zombie mastery skin would provide more than that, but no, it provides less. Zombie King awkwardly slides around and doesn't have anything to say. And on top of that, the skin is so huge that it's genuinely difficult to use in-game. This has got to be one of the worst skins ever created. It's just so bland, uninspired. Overall, I just don't like Zombie King at all. And it would help that if I liked the map, but Undead Coming 2 has got to be one of my least favorite maps in the game. It's definitely better than that horrible 2020 version of the map, but still, I never liked Undead Coming 2 that much. So overall, Zombie King is just super bland to me.
Much better.
Most of these mastery skins are very well liked, so obviously some of the lower placements are going to be controversial. But with that being said, second to last place goes to Cygas. But wait, this skin looks really cool. I mean, I love the cyan color scheme, I like the weird appendages it's got, reminds me of Deoxys. And yes, I know it's based off of Gygas from Earthbound, which is like a game I've never played, but I know that. And on top of that, it's got these weird holes in its face. This skin looks cool, why'd I put it so low down? Wait, what do you mean it doesn't look like that in the game? It looks like this? Ugh. Normally I like it when skins have a very abstract theming to them. I mean, skins like Unwell and Vector are some of my favorites in the game, but Cygas is just too abstract in its theming. I mean, those horrible glitchy effects just make it so hard to tell what I'm looking at. When I look at it without the effects, I know what I'm looking at, but in-game, these effects are constantly shifting. I mean, how is anyone, when they get the skin blind, meant to know that those things on the right of it are holes, when those same holes are constantly shifting around? It's just, this skin is practically incomprehensible, and I don't think any skin should be like that. So, even though Cygas is a unique and inspired concept, I just really hate how it looks, so it gets second to last on the list. Picture this, you've spent hours trying to master every single map in the game and you've finally done it, and you find out there's an extra reward for doing so. You check your inventory excited, and all you get is Golden Buckethead. This is definitely the most low quality skin of the bunch by a mile, and for that reason you're probably wondering why it isn't last. And it's because, first things first, it's actually usable in game and I actually know what I'm looking at here. But second thing second, I just think the audacity of this skin's existence is funny. It's like, yeah, you spent hours mastering all the maps. Cheetah Man then just says to you, hey, take this, and be satisfied. I think that's funny. Cheetah Man definitely knows how to make fun of people who sweat at his game, and that is the only reason why Golden Buckethead isn't in last place. With that being said, we're now done with D tier. Yes, 3 mastery skins got D tier. Surprising, I know. But now we're moving on to C tier. These skins are just okay. Starting off with Do you hear the flippity jibbity jibber jab woven? Oh my god, I gotta get out of here, whenever. Area 51 Pasta Creature, Scary Real, Jeffrey, Spooky EXE, Maze, Blue Monster, Smile, Charles, Steak Alien Monster, Run Red, Hyper Realistic, Mist HD, 720p, Wuggy, Five Night Horror, Midnight Doors, Scary World, is definitely one of the more unique skins on this list. Its gimmick is quite cool, with the whole gimmick being that it could change its face into multiple things, which are references to creepypastas of course. I only have one problem with this gimmick, and it's that some of the faces don't really look that good, and you can't choose which face you use in game, so one moment you're using a face that's cool, and then it swaps to one that you don't like. If you think all the faces look good, more power to you, but for me personally, some of them are just kind of poorly drawn to me, either that or they just look strange on the skin, so because of that, Area 51 Pasta Creature, Scary Real, Jeffrey, Spooky EXE Maze, Blue Monster, Smile, Charles, Steak Alien Monster, Run Red, Hyper Realistic, Miss HD, 720p, Wuggy, 5
Warning, this video contains opinions. Viewer discretion advised.
If you're someone who's just gotten into Bear, chances are you'll expect a simple horror game where you survive a killer bear, but as it turns out, Bear actually has boss fights. Multiple boss fights, which I know is crazy for a horror game. There's about 9 of them in total, so I've decided to give you all my ranking of every boss fight from worst to best. Remember that this is all my opinion, so don't get mad if you disagree with something. You're better than that, I hope. Also, thank you all for 7,000 subscribers. It's genuinely crazy that I've gone this far, but I don't want to yap any longer. I'm just gonna get into the video.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Normally, it's difficult for me to decide the last placer in rankings. Oftentimes, the last placer is just something I like the least. But this is the one case where the last placer is something I genuinely hate. The Love Bug boss fight of Familiar Place is absolutely awful. There is not a single redeeming quality I could think of with this fight. It is just completely unbalanced, unfair, and I'm going to explain to you every problem with it. At first, it doesn't seem that bad. I mean, Love Bug is just this unpredictable boss who spins around, occasionally stops, can develop these clouds that damage you or throw knives at you. You'd think the idea would be to shoot the boss when he's far away and spinning, and then when the boss stops, you hit him with your melee attack, but no, the fight is just designed to where this is practically impossible. First things first, Love Bug spins so unbelievably quickly that, especially if you're on mobile, it is near impossible to hit him. One thing you need to know is that on mobile, your crosshairs are stuck in the middle, which makes it trickier to aim. So why on earth would you make the boss spin so quickly? It's just inherently unfair. And not only that, but Love Bug just spins all the time. There are very few moments where Love Bug will actually stop, so you get barely any opportunities to actually shoot him. And when he does stop, hey, who's to say he doesn't spawn a cloud around him that damages you, or just throws 3 knives at you, because guess what? He can do that! It's just unbelievably stupid how quickly this guy can drain your health, while you have nothing you can do about it. And if you're not up against absolutely amazing players, yeah, just give up at that point, because this guy loves to target players at low health. So if you have a bad start, too bad, because this guy will kill you. This fight is absolutely awful in every regard, and not even the aesthetic of it is good, because the aesthetic is just used better in maps like Terra Tollivad. I cannot believe I managed to beat this fight all the way back in 2023, because this fight is unbalanced, unfair, and just stupid all around. So not only is a Familiar Place in last, but it's not even close to being second last. Just awful boss fight in every conceivable way. Next up is Brick Battle Arena, and before you get mad at me putting this fight low, let me just say that this is actual miles better than the last one, but it does have its problems. First things first, yes I am including Waves maps, because they have bosses at the end, but when I'm talking about Waves maps, I just include the whole thing instead of just the boss, because I want to look at the whole picture. Anyways, Brick Battle Arena is one of 3 different Waves maps, where you have to fight off a bunch of enemies with certain weapons, and this is probably the most complex of the 3. You have a sword that you could use to stab things, a little gun that you could use to shoot things, and then a missile launcher, which can't be used as much, but is good for taking down clumps of enemies, which is great, because this fight has a lot of clumps of enemies. I won't go too into detail on all of the enemies, but just know that overall, this fight isn't too hard. But my problem with it is actually the boss itself. Like I said, the enemies aren't that crazy, but the thing is, the boss just has way too much health. It's clear that the boss was meant to be designed in a way where some players would shoot the boss while others would try and attack it directly with the sword. But here's the thing. The average Bear player is stupid. No one's going to know that exact strategy to dealing with a boss. They see boss, they shoot. They do not form calculated plans as to how to take out a boss. I mean, come on, I get a bunch of comments asking where Tears Before Bedtime is on a video I made before Tears Before Bedtime was released, while also having a pinned comment saying that Tears Before Bedtime didn't exist when I made the video. Of course, the average Bear player is not going to be incredibly hyper-intelligent. But the thing that's annoying is that if all the players don't have the correct strategy, you just cannot win. And all of this gets even worse when you consider the fact that there is a challenge badge quest in this map. Remember how I said that this boss fight, or rather Waves map, is pretty difficult because of the boss. Yeah. Now, if you want to get the outrageous Sam skin, you need to win the boss fight with 80 plus health. And I mean for the whole match. If your health at any point goes below 80, you cannot get the badge no matter what. Why? The thing is, this idea would actually work good on some fights. There are plenty of fights where I can actually win them without losing any health pretty consistently. But this fight is designed in such a way where your health is going to be chipped down without much control. For example, the painters. These guys will lock onto a player and launch a paintball at them, taking out 10 health. Now that doesn't sound too bad, but if even 2 of these guys decide to target you at the start of the match, you're going to already be at 80 health, and at that point, if you lose a singular point of health, you cannot get the badge. But the biggest bane of existence in this whole fight, if you're trying to get it, is these stupid, parentless, brainless slingshots. These things will lock onto a player and launch a bunch of tiny little projectiles, and when these things hit you, you lose a bunch of health. These things are just the bane of my existence in this fight, to the point where your immediate priority is to gun these things down till they cease to be, because if you don't, these things will ruin a run, and they can do it so easily. If they even so much as want to, they will. These things also just have such insane aim. Like, normally the little projectile shooters don't have amazing aim, but these things absolutely do. They are just gunning for you. And all of that combined means that even though this fight is good by definition, the challenge badge just kind of ruins it for me. I'm sorry, but I just don't have fun playing this map because I want the skin, but the skin is incredibly difficult and unfair to get. Brick Battle is still good if you're playing it, but the fact that it's so difficult and has a challenge badge, again, is why it's so low in the rankings.
You are nothing.
Good news, we've now entered the territory of the good stuff. If any boss fights get this low at this point, just know that I still really like this fight. With that being said, and this may be a controversial one, next up is the Bear Star version of Arctic Valley, aka the Cyborg Sam boss fight. First things first, can we talk about how cool this aesthetic is? It's this icy cave with so many nice looking colors. And aside from that, I just think there are a lot of well-designed aspects to this fight. I really like the pink eye attack, for example. The idea is that you have to pay attention to the eyes and see where they go. The blue one isn't that bad. If it goes towards you, you've got plenty of time to react. But if you see the pink one move, pay attention to if it's going to look at you and then dodge out of the way, or a pink laser will hit you and drain a bunch of your health. Those aspects of the fight are really nice, but there are just some attacks that I find a little bit questionable. Just a little bit. First, for Hollow Bobs. These guys aren't that bad, but if you're playing with people who don't know what they're doing, there's a very good chance you'll get overwhelmed with these guys. Another thing is that on mobile, like I said, your crosshair is stuck in the middle, so on PC, if you're getting chased by one of these guys, you could just put your crosshair at the back and shoot them, but that's not possible on mobile, so you need to gun these guys down before they get to you. But again, these guys aren't that unfair, you just need a decent squad for these guys. But the one attack that I think is incredibly stupid are the orange lasers. These things will come out of completely nowhere, move around erratically, and then just suddenly stop and shoot a laser out that practically one-shots you. There is no indication of where these things will stop and shoot their lasers, and I just find that incredibly unfair. The only way to avoid the wrath of these things is to go high up, and everyone else is going to want to do that as well, so you could in theory just get knocked off and thus suffer the wrath of the orange laser. Also, for a single time when Cyborg Sam is low in health, he'll have this attack that knocks you back and drains like half of your health. And personally, I don't think this attack was really necessary, but okay then. Overall, Cyborg Sam boss fight is pretty good, but it's not perfect, and when you consider the fact that most of these fights, except for Love Bug, are pretty good overall, you can see why this one's pretty low down. Next up is Terra Tolavad. Now I think this level is absolutely metal in its presentation. You're inside the organs of this humongous fleshy creature while this awesome rock music, which you've been hearing the whole time, is playing. I think the set piece for this is absolutely amazing, and thankfully there aren't really any major problems with this fight. Admittedly, the only thing that I don't like about this fight are the cherry bombers. I think the cherry bombers are just incredibly stupid. They love to target one person, and if no one else is helping you with them, they just are going to drain a bunch of your health. Plus, they have these bombs. They're just incredibly devastating enemies. But I don't really have much else to say about Terra Tolavad. It's just incredibly solid. I mean, the boss fight with Rob is pretty nice as well, I guess. The really dumb thing about it, though, is that if you're in the middle, it just insta-kills you. And honestly, that might be the worst thing about this fight, because they just don't explain that to you. But aside from that, yeah, Terra Tolavad is just great.
Much better.
And now for the final waves map, Teriyaki Intersection. This is by far my favorite of the three, just because it's fun. Like, that's all I can really say about this fight. This is one of the few maps where it feels like no matter how bad your squad is, if you just lock in, you can win. But admittedly, I have two problems with it. Number one, I think that the stick you use to hit enemies with really sucks. It's so useless that I genuinely don't use it at all when I play this map. And my other issue is that the fight almost feels a bit too easy in a way. Like, it never really feels like I'm being heavily challenged in this map. And those are really the only problems I have with this map, but overall just super solid waves map.
Prepare to die.
Next up is the Omen Maul boss fight, and this is by far the simplest one. Omen Maul only has 2 attacks. First things first, he could shoot these weird purple Jimbos at you, and he can also shoot these red laser beams from the sky. Now, while this fight is simple, which means you could in theory put it low down for not having too many interesting things, it also means there aren't really any problems with this fight. I mean, you slowly heal up over time, so having a bad start isn't that terrible, so you could spend time avoiding the attacks so you could heal, and then focusing on attacking when you're high at health. This fight isn't anything crazy, but there aren't any problems with it, and therefore it gets 4th place. But at the end of the day, it doesn't do too much, so I couldn't put it too high up. You might have noticed that I've yet to talk about a single boss fight in Bear Alpha, and that's mainly because there are only 2. But the 2 boss fights we do have are really, really good, starting off with Arctic Valley. I think Arctic Valley is basically what Teriyaki Intersection should have been. A simple boss fight that isn't too easy, but isn't too hard, keeps you on your toes, and is generally very fair. Sam's got a few attacks up his arsenal, like some snowballs, some big round colourful balls that he throws at you, and perhaps the most devastating attack of the bunch, these glaciers that'll have this quiet crackling sound play when you're near them, only for a glacier to shoot up and pretty much insta-kill you. See what I mean? Even though there are some very overpowered attacks, there are indications for when they're going to happen. As long as you try in this boss fight, you should be able to win, even if the squad you're playing with isn't good at the game. And that's why I like this fight. It was clearly designed to be rebeaten multiple times since there are plenty of skins that you can get from it, so overall I don't have any major problems with this fight, I just think the other 2 are better. They decided to give Vector a whole boss fight, and it absolutely slaps. First things first, the presentation is just absolutely incredible. You're stranded in this lone arena with only one thing standing in your way, that being Vector himself. Unlike most boss fights where you're just up against a boss, in this one, Lagoon just straight up sends this massive creature after you, and you've no choice but to take it out or lose all of the work that you had getting all of those puzzle pieces. Also, can we talk about how absolutely amazing that music is? Like, dude, this is just S-tier level music. The developers knew what they were doing when they picked this for the Vector boss fight. So not only is the set piece great, but I think the fight is awesome as well. It's kind of like the Arctic Valley fight, but a lot more difficult with a lot of very punishing attacks. Phase 1 is definitely trickier than Phase 2. You've got these 2 hands where you have to react to them glowing, otherwise you'll get hit by 2 separate lasers, these shockwaves on the floor that you have to dodge or they will deal massive damage, and this blue hand that will follow you around before attempting to grab you. There are just a lot of attacks here that are very punishing, but they all have an indication for when they're going to happen, and none feel too unfair. Phase 2 is where it should theoretically ramp up, as Vector grows these angel-like wings, almost looking biblical in a way, suddenly starts to fly, and then has these new attacks. Similarly to Omen Mole, he can fire these beams from the sky, send a bunch of little greedies to come after you, and the most devastating attack of all, this massive purple laser that insta-kills you if you so much as graze it. This fight has plenty of brutal elements to it, but nothing is unfair. So why isn't it in number 1? Well, it's simply for the fact that Phase 2 is honestly a bit easy. You can cheese the entire fight by climbing on the broken pillars, which only break on Phase 2. And I get why this was done, because admittedly I think the greedy minions are a bit unfair on mobile, but overall I don't think it's fair to just kind of shrug off a whole part of the fight. Still though, Vector boss fight rules. And with that, it's time for me to reveal which is my favorite boss fight in number 1.
I am not a virus. You are, and you need to.
Mischief.exe. The most recent boss fight of the bunch, Mole Bear boss fight, is what I would consider perfect. This, to me, goes to show that the developers have really learned from their past mistakes and learned to make some incredibly good boss fights, with this being the best of all. Mole Bear has a crazy amount of attacks that you have to survive against, such as these shockwaves, him throwing his own head onto people to try and hit them, a bunch of little minions that go around trying to attack people, all of which behaving very differently, and on Phase 2 specifically, a bunch of these lasers that will slide across the floor, which means that you have to find safety, otherwise these things will decimate you. This fight, to me, isn't too easy, isn't unfair, keeps you on your toes, and just in general is a fun time. I also really like Mole Bear's voice lines. He was given some new voice lines in Bear Star, and they're really cool because it implies that Mole Bear perceives you as a virus that he has to eradicate, and overall that's just really neat. The Mole Bear boss fight, aka Mischief.exe, is awesome, and because of that, I think it's fair to say that this is my favorite boss fight in all of Bear. Thank you all for watching, and as I said earlier, thank you all for 7k subscribers. And with that, here are the members. Thank you to the Endstone members of my channel, A200_E, Bear_Alpha_Fan, Dr. Bieberton, Fashion Lover 09, Milkshake. And big thanks to the Endstone fans of my channel, Barely If You Could YouTube, Buck Is Dumb, Snowball189, Crazy0716, Friend_Deltarune_Real, Coraped_Grill.Chez, Nolbra, Snowyfall, Romanda_324, Apollo-IS5JZ, NP Gaming 101, Very Unlucky Guy 913, Nicholas Games RJ, Sausage789, Fourth and Skitwezzy. You guys are epic, along with the 7,000 of the people who subscribe to my channel. Assuming people didn't use alt accounts, which some of them probably did, but you know. Anyways, that's the end of the video. Goodbye. LOL.
Warning, this video contains opinions. Viewer discretion advised.
Bear Alpha is chock full of many different categories of skins, but the category that I'm going to be putting a spotlight on this video is the zombie skins. Basically the simple Robloxian-like characters, and there's a few of them, so I'm going to be ranking all of them. This is a remake of an older video I made back in 2024, which I decided to update around now because there are quite a few more zombie skins now. Enough yapping, I'll just get into the video. Starting off with last place, it has to be Zombie King. For a Mastery skin, this is just so incredibly disappointing. In fact, this might actually be one of my least favorite skins ever made in the game. It's just so bland. Like, the thing with most zombie skins is that even though they don't really have many details, they at least have animations and voice lines. Zombie King doesn't. It just slides around awkwardly, it doesn't make any noises whatsoever. And that wouldn't be so terrible because the skin does look unique enough. If the skin didn't make it difficult to use, this skin is so massive for no reason that when you try and play as it, it's genuinely difficult to see the survivors because this thing's fat body blocks it. And because of that, this is easily the worst zombie skin on the list, just incredibly bland. Then second to last place goes to the Undead Coming Pumpkin. Personally, I just don't really vibe much with this skin, and I think the main reason is that this is a Bear Alpha version of a Bear Star skin. Now, normally I like it when Bear Star skins get into Alpha, because you get to see what that skin would look like in Bear Alpha. You know, it might look more simple, it might have a more cartoony vibe to it, but in this skin's case, it really is just a Bear Star version, but worse. I mean, the Bear Star version is called Jacoby, much better name by the way, and not only that, but it also has these cool textures on it. This skin just doesn't have that. It is still better than Zombie King though, if you ask me, because it actually has animations and voice lines, but still, overall, I just don't really vibe much of this one, plus it's a really rare skin, which kinda hurts it. Then next up is the Undead Coming Zombie. This is the one that has the least going for it realistically, but is the default version, so it gets cut a lot of slack. I have this policy where if a default version of a skin is bland and simple, it'll still realistically get a good ranking due to basically being the reason why other skins of that category exist. And overall, yeah, this is a simple but okay skin. I like the voice lines, I like the walk animations, it's good stuff. Overall, pretty good skin. Then next up is the Undead Coming Yeti. In the old version of this video, this skin was in last, but I've really thought about it, and now that I actually have this skin, yeah, this is a lot better. I think it's just the color scheme I like of this one. The contrast between blue and white is just really pleasant. I don't really have anything else to say about the Undead Coming Yeti. I mean, if we're being fair, this was the first skin I got for defeating Santa Sam, so that brings back some iconic memories.
He's here! Undead Coming Yeti!
Now we're at the point where these skins are starting to get pretty good, so let's start off with the Area 51 zombie. Simple but effective skin. It's basically just a green guy with red eyes, but what really carries it for me is the quest. I think the quest is very cool, and even though I think Survive to Kill a Bear in Area 51 is probably one of the worst maps in the game, the quest is pretty neat, so this skin overall gets a nice ranking. Also, it has a unique voice line, which I think sounds pretty cool. Then next up is Shadow Monster Man, one of 3 mastery skins in this list. A lot of zombie skins are masteries now that I think about it. Overall, I like this one quite a bit. I know it's just a, shadow guy, but they do more of the skin than just it being a shadow guy. I mean, it's got some cool glitchy effects, the skin walks around cool. I do think it's a bit unfair to use in game because it's just fully shadowy, you know, but overall, pretty good skin. But unfortunately, there is just a better version of the skin out there, so I can't really give it too high of a ranking. Then in 4th place is a skin that I was considering not including at